Hey everyone, it's Albie. Welcome back to my channel. I have a review for you today. I just finished It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I have lots of thoughts about this book. So I gave this book a 4. It was an enjoyable book. There was just a lot of heavy content with this book. So the main topic of discussion that is relevant throughout the whole novel is spousal abuse. So our heroine, Lily, she witnesses her mother being abused by her father basically her whole life, and she keeps a diary that she writes to Ellen DeGeneres throughout the story. And as an adult woman, like at 23, 24, she finds these journals and reads them and kind of revisits her past in a way after the death of her father. So Lily has definitely faced a lot of trauma, and through going back through her history, visiting the trauma she faced as a child, witnessing her mother's abuse by Lily's father, we find out about Lily and her childhood romance with a homeless boy named Atlas Corrigan. Is it Corrigan? Yeah, Corrigan. And it talks about Atlas and their relationship together, and just a lot of heavy content. I mean, spousal abuse, spousal rape. There is gun violence. There's loss of parent, loss of sibling, abuse, childhood trauma, homelessness, child homelessness, talk of suicide. So it's pink, but it's filled with some dark, heavy hidden stuff. So definitely check out my content warnings, which are listed in the description box. I think I covered them all just now, but it is very heavy. I think in my review that I spoke that it felt like a really well-written book, but I said I enjoyed it, giving it a 4, but I didn't necessarily like, I love this story. I enjoyed the story so much. It was such a great story. I mean, it was well written and everything. It just was, it's so heavy. The content was so heavy that it's not necessarily that I enjoyed myself, but I'm glad that I read it, if that makes sense. Hopefully it kind of makes sense. But I really liked our heroine, Lily. I loved our hero, Atlas. He was sort of a beta hero because there is sort of a love triangle in the story between Lily and Ryle Kincaid, as well as Atlas Corrigan. That sort of all happens around the same time. But, you know, some heavy hitting stuff. It's sort of hard to give a full in-depth review of this novel without doing so many spoilers. But I mean, with the content warnings, you've been sort of warned. And I kind of figured from what I've heard from friends, and I mean, the cover is a shattered flower, so you know something's going on. But it wasn't so bad where I had to put down the book or I had to take a break. It was just really heavy hitting. Like, if you've read, I don't look for books that have spousal, I don't know if I'm saying it right, spousal abuse. But I read the book Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks. This was in early college, probably my freshman year of college. And it's a movie too with Julian Hough and Josh Dalton, something like that. And he was married to Fergie. Well, anyway, if you can handle Safe Haven, like either you've seen the movie or you've read the book by Nicholas Sparks, should probably be okay with handling this book. And like if you've watched Law & Order SVU, you sort of know what's up. But, you know, heavy content. But it had a really good ending, and I'm really happy with how our heroine left things. There was times in the story where I was really frustrated with Lily. I think a good amount of readers would be. But, you know, abuse can really shift your dynamic, and I think love can really blind people to reality, especially in situations. I think people, especially women, can write off you know, abuse as short temper, bad day, they didn't mean it, and you sort of sometimes people can play the blame game. They can look for reasons to sort of scapegoat the situation and think of it as not that bad, you know. But I think it's important to know if you're being abused or not in a situation. And I'm happy that Lily from the get-go, I think, well, Lily, I don't know if I could say from the get-go, because there was a time before a big issue happened, and she just sort of kind of brushed it off as it'll never happen again. And you know, some people have this idea in their head, like, if someone hits me once, you know, we'll get through it. But if you hit me again, twice, 3 times, you know, it's over. But really, once should be enough. I know, you know, every situation is different. When you add kids in the mixture, when you add family, when you add like a parent illness or something, it can change leaving a situation that's not healthy for you. And this book has a lot of times where Lily's mother had that situation. So this is a book that has Lily's mother face abuse as well as Lily, the main character. So sort of double layered and not so fun stuff that happens. But is there a happy ending? Yes. Is there a resolution? Yes. And I think it's good to have resolutions when it's something that is so hard-hitting, so demonstrative. You know, it's really hard to give a good review of this story without spoilers, like I said. I enjoyed this story. Well, you know, it was a well-written story. I liked the characters, well, for the most part. And I'm glad with how things ended. I'm glad that it ended with them. See what I did there? Also, here's a question for you. Have you read this book? Were you like me, where you felt that, was his name Ryland? I want to call him Ryland. I guess I used to watch a lot of, was his name Shane Dawson? I think his boyfriend or husband, I think at this point, was Ryland, so I kept thinking of Ryland. But Ryle, did anyone else think that Ryle was bad in bed? Was it just me? I thought the first time they hooked up, I was like, oh my god, that's not working. Maybe that was a sign that he was going to be villainous. I don't know. That's probably not nice to say, but I didn't think Ryle as a character was good in bed. I don't know. Let me know. Did you feel the same way? Or have you read a book where you're like, man, that character's lousy in bed, and I don't know if they're supposed to be, or if it was written, or if I just read it wrong or something. So let me know. I don't know. Maybe not know. I don't know. I just felt that as a reader. I was like, it's not that good. The spice going down because the hero or anti-hero or whatever he is, the jerk, isn't good in bed. That's how I felt. But overall, 4-star read. My other book that I read by Colleen Hoover this year, Ugly Love, I believe I gave that, I think I gave it like a 3.5 and rounded it to 4. I like that one as well, but it was a little more geared toward high school students, in my opinion. And at 30, I'm kind of over high school, reading about high school people. This one to me is definitely more new adult. So as someone who's, you know, older at 30, I still enjoyed the story. I think teenagers will really like this story. I mean, I think this is more written for the teenage new adult audience. So like, you know, 14 to 24, I think we're really gonna love this story and love Colleen Hoover's writing. I like her as a writer. I think she writes really well. I just feel like I'm not necessarily her target audience. But that being said, the sequel, It Starts With Us, I believe is the title. I think that comes out sometime this fall, and that's the sequel to this. And I will be picking that up and I'll be reading it because I really like Atlas. I really want to see what Atlas can bring as a character and other stuff, you know. But I liked Atlas a lot. I thought his character was really interesting. He was a character that faced childhood slash young adult homelessness, and I think that's an interesting topic that's not really spoken about, and I really would like to read more about that sort of those situations. I think they're interesting to learn more about and educate myself on about homelessness and people that are, basically forgotten because they turn 18 and the family doesn't want them anymore, but they're not really an adult. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. But I think I was saying I want to read the sequel to this, and I also want to read Verity. So, Colleen Hoover, I don't know if I'm necessarily her target audience, but I enjoy her writing, and yeah, 4 stars. I'm trying to avoid adjectives, because I liked it. Didn't love it, but it's more so because it was so heavy in content. So heavy. But yeah, I rambled on a lot. Hopefully my review was pretty good for y'all. I would say pick up this book. It is really heavy, so check your content warnings, but I think it is worth the hype. It was a well-written story, and I think it's important to know about signs of abuse and see characters and have them wake up. And if you're in a similar situation, try to wake yourself up out of it if you can, and if you can leave and do safely. If you have kids, try to do what you need to do to be safe and keep your family safe. That's all I'm going to say, because it's a person by person basis. But if you need help, seek help if you can. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, kind of ending this review on a kind of dull note, sadly, but hard-hitting subject. I want readers to be able to get help if they have a similar situation to this book. I think there's like a W you can post or something like that. I know there's signs. I should definitely look them up to make myself more aware. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, as well as comment. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at I'll Be Reading Romance. Like I said, my question for this book was, did you find Ryle to be bad in bed? Have you read another book where a hero or the jerk of the story is bad in bed and you're like, ooh, I hope we get a better one later on? Let me know in the comments below. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye, everyone.